Dr. Elias Thorne was a prodigy, a surgeon whose dexterity and intellect were unmatched. His hands, steady as a rock, could perform the most intricate procedures with unnerving precision. He was lauded, celebrated, a beacon of hope in the sterile halls of the city hospital. But beneath the veneer of brilliance, a darkness brewed. A fascination with the very essence of life, a desire to manipulate its fragile threads, began to consume him. It started subtly. Late nights in the lab, tweaking procedures, pushing boundaries. He'd justify it as scientific curiosity, the pursuit of knowledge. But the line blurred. Soon his experiments grew bolder, more invasive, straying far from the ethical compass that guided his professional life. He began to see himself not merely as a surgeon, but as a creator, a sculptor of flesh and bone. He started with animals, subjecting them to radical procedures, pushing their physical limits. The results were both fascinating and horrifying. His notes filled with cryptic symbols and diagrams, a language only he understood. The hospital, oblivious to his nighttime activities, remained unaware of the macabre experiments underway in the deserted laboratory. His colleagues admired his dedication, unaware of the unsettling nature of his work. His success rate was astonishing, yet the methods were his own horrifying secrets. His arrogance grew. The animal's suffering became an insignificant cost in his pursuit of forbidden knowledge. He craved more, something beyond the limitations of conventional surgery. He yearned to unlock the secrets of the human body, to rewrite its genetic code, to unravel the very mysteries of life and death. His next subject was a terminally ill patient, one whom he'd grown close to. He proposed a controversial experimental procedure promising a miracle cure. The patient, desperate for a chance, agreed, blinded by hope and trust in the doctor's extraordinary abilities. The procedure was a complex dance on the edge of a knife, merging human tissue with synthetic material in an unprecedented fashion. It was a stunning success, or so he thought. The patient lived longer than expected, but suffered terrible side effects, effects that Elias carefully documented. The patient's experience was a pivotal moment in his descent into madness. The success emboldened him. The thrill of transgression fueled his obsessions. He saw himself as a god, wielding the power of life and death, free from the shackles of morality and ethics. He conducted more procedures, each more audacious and terrifying than the last. He experimented with gene manipulation, attempting to create a superhuman being. His lab became a twisted sanctuary, filled with strange equipment and the chilling remnants of his experiments. Was this the pinnacle of his ambition, or was it merely the beginning of something far more sinister? He began to lose track of time, his days blurring into nights as he pursued his increasingly reckless research. He felt himself shifting, his humanity eroding with each bizarre surgical procedure. His vision began to warp, the lines between reality and imagination becoming increasingly indistinguishable. Sleep became a luxury he could not afford, haunted by the faces of his subjects, both human and animal. His descent into madness accelerated. His once brilliant mind became fragmented, fractured by his relentless pursuit of impossible goals. He began to see patterns in the chaotic data, prophecies in the failed experiments. The hospital administrators began to notice irregularities, a discrepancy between his sanctioned procedures and the vast quantities of medical supplies being consumed. They started to investigate. The fear gnawed at his heart, but he pressed on, driven by a terrifying combination of hubris and paranoia. He could not stop. His obsession had consumed him entirely, a monstrous hunger that demanded to be fed. He pushed the limits of what was possible, shattering the boundaries of what was ethical and what was human. His experiments were increasingly inhuman. He wondered if he was still human himself. His reflection in the mirror often seemed unfamiliar, a stranger in a white coat. One day, the authorities finally caught up with him. His laboratory was raided, his experiments exposed. The world recoiled in horror at the revelations. Elias Thorne, once a celebrated surgeon, was reduced to a disgraced pariah, a cautionary tale of unchecked ambition and the terrifying consequences of playing God. But even in his downfall, a perverse satisfaction lingered. He had dared to dream, to reach for the stars, even if it meant destroying himself and others in the process. Was it all worth it? He knew the answer, even if no one else did. His legacy remained a chilling reminder of the danger of unchecked power and the seductive allure of a God complex. The case of Dr. Elias Thorne served as a dark warning, a cautionary tale for generations to come.